Imagine a high-stakes diplomatic dance where world leaders pivot on a dime, leaving global tensions hanging in the balance. Now, picture that dance abruptly paused. That's the essence of the latest developments in U.S.-Russia relations, where proposed talks between President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin have been unexpectedly set aside, sparking debates about peace, concessions, and the ongoing war in Ukraine. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this a genuine shift toward compromise, or just another layer of geopolitical maneuvering? Stick around as we unpack the details and prepare for the twists that most people overlook in the headlines. According to a White House spokesperson, there are currently no plans for President Trump to sit down with Russian President Putin in the immediate future. This announcement comes just days after Trump himself revealed that the two leaders had agreed to hold discussions in Budapest, Hungary, within the next couple of weeks, specifically to tackle the pressing issues surrounding the conflict in Ukraine. For beginners trying to follow international diplomacy, think of Budapest as a neutral ground, much like how historical summits have used European cities to facilitate tough conversations without the full glare of home turf. To pave the way for this potential meeting, a preliminary gathering between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov was scheduled for this week. However, the White House reported that the two officials had already conducted a productive phone conversation, rendering the in-person sit-down unnecessary. Intriguingly, no further specifics were provided about what caused this sudden change of heart or what made the call so effective. And this is the part most people miss. Behind the scenes, such shifts often hinge on unspoken signals, like economic pressures or back-channel assurances, that can alter the course of negotiations overnight. The backstory adds even more intrigue. Trump reportedly chatted with Putin over the phone just one day before hosting Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House. Some media accounts painted the Zelensky meeting as a heated exchange, almost a shouting match, with insiders claiming Trump urged Zelensky to cede significant swaths of eastern Ukraine as part of a broader deal with Russia. This raises eyebrows. Should a U.S. president pressure an ally to make territorial concessions in wartime? It's a classic example of how personal diplomacy can clash with established alliances, potentially prioritizing quick deals over long-term stability. Yet, by Monday, Trump had pivoted to endorse a ceasefire plan supported by Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, and several European leaders, proposing to halt hostilities along the existing battle lines. Let it be cut the way it is, he stated, suggesting a freeze in place as a pragmatic step toward peace. This flip-flop has fueled speculation. Is Trump adapting to new realities, or is this a calculated move to appease multiple sides in a divided arena? Russia, however, has firmly rejected the idea of a frozen front line. Foreign Minister Lavrov clarified on Tuesday that Moscow seeks long-term, sustainable peace, hinting that a mere pause in fighting would only be a short-lived truce. He emphasized addressing the root causes of the conflict, a term the Kremlin often uses to mask a list of ambitious demands. These include full recognition of Russian control over the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine and the complete demilitarization of Ukraine, conditions that Kyiv and its European allies view as utterly unacceptable, essentially demanding Ukraine surrender its sovereignty. President Zelensky offered a counterpoint, framing talks about the front line as the beginning of diplomacy. He accused Russia of actively dodging genuine negotiations, asserting that the only issue capable of capturing Moscow's focus is the provision of long-range weaponry to Ukraine. For those new to these debates, long-range missiles could shift the war's dynamics by allowing Ukraine to strike deeper into Russian territory, turning the tables on an aggressor and illustrating why arms supplies are often the leverage point in such standoffs. Putin's unexpected call to Trump last Thursday occurred amid rumors that the U.S. might soon deliver long-range Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, capable of reaching far into Russia. Zelensky credited this very threat with prompting Russian engagement, describing the discussions on missiles as a strong investment in diplomacy. It's a fascinating paradox. Sometimes the specter of escalation can be the catalyst for talks, proving that brinkmanship plays a role in global chess games. As we reflect on these events, it's hard not to wonder, does Trump's willingness to push Ukraine for concessions undermine democratic allies, or is it a shrewd way to force Russia into meaningful compromises? And what about Russia's root causes demands? Are they a path to lasting peace, or just a guise for expansionism? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you see this as a missed opportunity for diplomacy or a necessary course correction in a messy conflict? Let's discuss. Your perspective could shed light on where this all leads next.